We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
And of course, it messed up right away. Everybody, don't worry. We got Fitch over here. We'll bring him up in a second. Nothing, and hopefully everybody's hearing me in my voice. Hey, there you are, Fitch. This morning, I started the broadcast. Now, I get a heads up like a half an hour before him. I got an email. It's my fault. I didn't read it. I didn't see it. It happened in the middle of the day on Halloween. I had enough going on. That the power was being turned off over at the RVM buildings. So we were encouraged to do a show if we wanted to, but it wasn't getting broadcast there. So usually when the voice mod thing is on, when I don't know it's on because it's been acting up and buggy lately, my producer will be like, hey, you don't sound right. This time, the entire intro ran with Joe Biden's voice in the voice mod. and then, like, I don't know, the first 2 or 3 minutes of the broadcast.
The whole show is Obama?
It was, for the first 2 minutes, it was Biden. And people were asking me, like, if my voice was okay. I'm looking inside, and I thought I had turned it off. It was a whole thing, and I thought to myself, I did an hour this morning. I said we hadn't done a mixed martial mindset in a while. There's actually a ton going on in MMA.
Loads.
Bellator acquired by PFL. Looks like one. I'm actually going to try to go to the last show in case. They're saying they're going to keep it up under the banner for the next 2 years, but you know how that goes. We still don't know. We don't know what kind of TV deals are going to happen. The last card is set for November 17th in Chicago.
And they may be waiting. They may be laying in wait because of the class action lawsuit.
And that's the other huge news. I mean, aside from the fights that we could talk about too, which we will. Obviously, the class action lawsuit that now a judge has said, no, it can't be thrown out. And now all of a sudden.
And he fast-tracked the trial date.
Not only fast-tracked the trial date, but now we're starting to see discovery disclosed to the public in the form.
They're releasing numbers of some of the big stars who fought for him. People who thought guys were making like 10 or 15 million were making half of that or even less.
Yeah.
So even their big arguments of how these big stars are making so much money are really making peanuts compared to what the gates were that brought in.
I mean, just the gates, not even the pay-per-view numbers.
Not a pay-per-view, not the merchandising sale, not the concessions, not the bonuses from the arenas who pay them to have shows there, not the sponsorships, not the television broadcasting companies who are paying them to be on their things. Yeah.
No, it's huge, man. We're talking about possible real changes. Nothing could have been better for the whole sport of MMA and those possible changes, other than Ngannou getting a win. Although I'd say this, he fought well enough now where his next payday. What are they disclosing he got paid right now?
I can't even remember.
Let's look.
I didn't even see his numbers yet.
Let's see what we got. Let's see if there's anything out there.
We'll do it live.
It's more than whatever the UFC was going to pay him.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Field.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Thanks, Bill. Let's check it out.
And he did so well. I mean, I feel like he kind of won that fight, but he did so well that they're ranking him. They're talking about him fighting Joshua or Deontay Wilder next.
No, they have to rank him after that fight. There's no doubt.
And this is the thing. A lot of people are missing this with Francis Ngannou, right? A lot of people discounted him because like, oh, he's an MMA fighter. Like he wasn't a wrestler. He was a boxer. He was a boxer before, but he wasn't getting any attention as an amateur boxer in France. So he crossed over to MMA because that was where he could get fights. That was where he could get pushed and make some money. He was originally a boxer, Yeah. So it's not like he entered a new sport out. He wasn't a wrestler going into that. In fact, the fights he lost in MMA were based off of him not being able to wrestle very well.
Absolutely. And so I'm seeing right here, just so everybody can check it out. It looks like 10 million is the number. Now, whether or not he got pay-per-view bonuses, it almost doesn't matter. Number one, that's twice.
That's guaranteed. 10 million guaranteed. He still has sponsors, right? He still gets his own sponsors for that fight. And then we don't know what kind of back-end stuff he had on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, what I was about to say is that even if you look at that bare bones number, what we're seeing now disclosed by the UFC over the past decade with their stars Rousey and McGregor are paydays that don't get over $5 million in most cases and are in the $2 to $3 to $4 million range in most cases. So right there, we don't know what Jones has been paid yet. I guess we're going to see those numbers as well, like the Gane fight. But I would assume 10 million would be the cap, other than possible pay-per-view numbers. My point being that not only did Ngannou make MMA overall more legitimate, all eyes are on him. He's in the PFL, which has just acquired Bellator, which there's going to be.
He made the heavyweight boxing landscape relevant and exciting again.
Yeah, well, I like you.
There's all kinds of matchups. I would love to watch him fight. Deontay Wilder, that's huge, man. That's an easy sell. Two of the biggest, hardest hitting fighters in the world. Two guys that have dropped Fury. Anthony Joshua, that would be two hulking beasts fighting. That would be a great fight. I'm down to watch Anthony Ruiz fight him. Like, there's a lot of great fights, a lot of great matchups with him.
And let me say this, a lot of great paydays. 10 million is going to be chump change to whatever they have to pay him for the next one. I would say it's going to be bare minimum baseline 20 to 25. And honestly, again, all eyes are on him. The ESPN pay-per-view numbers were really solid. Obviously, overseas, it's different. TNT actually had the rights, which used to be BT Sport. Those are the main ones in the world, obviously.
And, pirating is huge, too.
Yeah.
They can't do anything to stop that.
That one was tough. I bought it.
You almost have to be, like, people who pay for the fights, they willfully have to, I want to pay these guys. I want these guys to get money. That's why I'm getting the fight, because it's just so easy to pirate things nowadays.
It is tough, but I'll tell you, this one was tougher. Like, they had some pretty good blocks or whatever. I mean, I'm sure that there are people out there, John, that might have watched it for nothing.
There's
but,
rumors.
Yeah.
I've heard things.
I was in the middle of moving, like literally had a U-Haul scenario and people over and half my stuff gone from where we usually watch the fights. Fights are going to be dope this week, guys. And actually, it's a good fight night. I'm looking forward to it.
We got bare knuckles on Friday.
Did you watch Valor this week?
No.
Valor BK put on their second show, which is Frank Shamrock's promotion. And it really sucks that, like, the first one happened pre-COVID, right? And they don't do any raps. Not only do they do no raps, but think about karate combat in a circle, or how they used to do that. Remember that Chuck Norris kickboxing thing? Remember that way back in the day where, what's his name? Wonder Boy came out of that.
Is it a pit?
So it's in a ring that's a little bit on a downward.
Well, Frank is the first guy to use that. Like over 10 years ago, he did a show.
Yeah, the Yama fighting. Yama pit fighting. I remember it.
And it was I might have been before then. I'm talking like 2005.
Let's see what we got for Yama.
2004, 2005. I think Mike Swick fought. He had a quick knockout in that, I believe. I think Eric Ray was another one of our guys that fought.
Let's see. Yama Pit was 2008. Let's type in Shamrock Pit. Shamrock Pit. Boom. Now I came up with a certain type of pipple. So that's not it, guys. That is not the pit fighting right there. Let's see what we got here. So anyway, with that fighting, and it is it's Ken Shamrock's thing. Basically, you can't go out on the mats, and there's no ropes to lean on. So and I think they have 3-minute rounds on it too. So they really encourage you to scrap on that one. Valor BK could be good. I'd like to see it do well. BKFC is the thing, though, man. Every card is just badass. It wasn't on last weekend, but 2 weeks ago, the night before the UFC card, it was fantastic. Did you watch it?
Which one?
The one 2 weeks ago. There wasn't one this weekend. 2 weeks ago, they had one. Who was the champion? It was a championship fight, wasn't it? At the very end, I think.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one guy, the reigning champ, got beat.
Yes.
Smaller guys.
Yes. And it was a decision. Listen. I think it was 9 out of 11 of them were KOs.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a fun sport to watch. I'm just saying, guys. Like BKFC has done it right. They got Alvarez versus who next? That's another big one. He's fighting. Who the hell's Alvarez fighting? We'll do it live again. BKFC.com. Boom. Let's see. That's Coltrane. That's not it. They haven't advertised it yet? Let's go to all events. We'll do this. News. All events. They got that Muay Thai. That's right. They got the back-to-back coming this weekend. Both Friday and Saturday. They got the BKFC Thailand, which I'm excited about because it's their first kickboxing. Mike Perry and Alvarez are doing it. And honestly, this card is awesome, everybody. Take a look. We'll do the more info on this. Come on. What's going on? Why can't we get... There we go. You got Ben Rothwell versus Todd Duffy. You got Ferreira versus Rollin.
I got to do a little sparring. I did some rounds with Duffy to help him get ready. We're trying to game plan a little bit. And I basically kind of try to spar him like he needs to spar Rothwell. And it was a lot of fun.
Rothwell... Yeah, well, Rothwell's a big dude. He's got to watch out for that big hulking overhand. That's usually what he comes with.
It's the Rothwell will fight to that clinch and that plum choke and a half plum, and that can be hard. He's a big guy.
Yeah,
he gets to that.
He does the uppercut with it well. You know what I mean? But he hasn't fought Todd Duffy level competition in VKFC either. Let's just say that Todd Duffy's a veteran of MMA, and he's fought some of the. I remember when he ran in there against Uberim in Dream when he was the juiciest Overeem of all time and just came at him as tough as he could. And Overeem, he put him down. At that point, Overeem was on that run. That was when he was just about to break into the UFC. I think Todd Duffy might have been either the last fight before the UFC or the second to last fight before the UFC. And I don't think I've ever seen Overeem bigger in my life. He was massive, John. Kudos to Todd Duffy.
I think I found the what it was. SB1 Shootbox 1. It's August 23rd, 2003, Orange County Convention Center, Orlando, Florida.
Oh, you got that. Okay. So this was the Shamrock thing?
I think that was the first one. It was in a pit. I remember because Mike Swick, he beat Butch Bacon in 26 seconds.
Okay. I checked out Zwick on Where Are They Now?
Yeah,
recently.
Some of our guys are on there. That's right.
Yeah.
That was the one.
He did the AKA Thailand story. Basically, showed the new gym off. He's out there hanging out on boats with Dan Bilzerian.
Great stuff out there, man. That guy, Mike Swick, something else. He's been fighting leukemia too.
Yeah, that's in there, and he's doing a hell of a job, and he's doing it upbeat. It was really something to watch. So kudos to him, man. There's a guy that literally, whether or not, that cancer, with or without the cancer battle, he's living his dream. And I like that. And he hasn't let anything defeat him. That's
exactly. It's not slowed down one bit.
No. And that's the shit right there, man. That's a real dude. If you do have UFC Fight Pass, I would encourage you to check out Where Are They Now and the Mike Swick they're all like 12 to 15 minute documentaries on these guys. And it's actually something kind of cool.
You can't even find a picture of this thing. I remember seeing videos a long time ago, but
what was it called?
SB1 shoot box.
SB1 shoot box 1. We're doing it live.
I can't find a picture or a video, but they have.
There's the fight results, and there's Sherdog.
And Sherdog, yeah, but no pictures. But it was a sunken pit.
Man, I wonder if we can find the Yama pit fighting.
Because I remember when Frank was getting ready to do that, he set up a mock one outside of like Crazy Bob's house, and we were out there like messing around, shooting promo stuff for it.
Man, I'm just seeing like the versus stuff. Let's see if we can find it maybe on video. Let's see if we can find videos here.
I think so.
Nope. Grandma link. What's this? K1 kickboxing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I guess we could do this. We could go anytime and we'll do custom range. It's in 2003. 01, 2000.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys on this card are old AKA guys. Mike Swick, Jeff Ford, Alex Kanbabian, David Vasquez, Eric Ray. Those were all guys who I have trained with and trained at AKA.
Yeah, there's nothing there. I mean, you can't find it at all. Nothing. Absolutely zero, zip, and
lost to the ether. Isn't that crazy, man? That's a whole event. It was crazy. I remember seeing videos of it. It's probably on VHS.
You know what? I bet you maybe Fight Pass has it, dude. Fight Pass literally has Pat Miletich versus Dan Severn over at the minor league ballpark that's in Davenport outside. So you never know. They fought up a lot.
It depends on, because Frank and the UFC have not been on friendly terms for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
Ever since that's a funny story how that things fell through with him in the UFC.
Well, let's hear it. What's the story?
He worked out like Dana and the Fertitas. They wanted to do some training stuff, so they wanted to learn some stuff. So they got together and they worked out or whatever. And then afterwards, Frank sent him a bill. It was like an outrageous bill.
An outrageous one?
Yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah, we spent 2 hours rolling around and doing stuff. You owe me like 10 grand.
I mean, you got to respect that at least from Shamrock. You know what, Fitch? We should do some news on top of all this other MMA stuff.
The world's burning. Just get your popcorn.
But
go off the reservation, get off the sinking ship, and watch it burn. Nothing you can do to stop it.
Well, speaking of people getting burned, this is a story I thought that we would put out there because I don't know what Sam Bankman-Fried was thinking. It took the jury less than 5 hours to find him guilty in a case he could spend 10 years in jail for. And let me just say what this is. This is a guy that thought he was in control and he was in charge and was so naive that when they told him to keep his mouth shut and cut a deal, he went to jury trial and kept running his mouth. So they fast-tracked his trial, they found him guilty, and now he's become the scapegoat, and no one else is going to get in real trouble at all.
Bro, they used him to fleece a bunch of money from people, and then they used him to donate that money to Democrats. And now they're going to send him to prison for it. Nobody's going to give that money back. The people who lost their money aren't going to get it back.
That's what I'm saying.
They got you.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is now in. And seriously, he would have done much better. He probably would have got the slap on the wrist. He would have got like maybe a 5 to 10 year sentence. Would have got it commuted after a few times. He kept talking, and they were like, "Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't think you fucking get it." Like at first, they actually let him out of jail.
He's probably going to get Epstein. On some level, he probably knows too much. He's probably going to get Epstein.
He will if they keep letting him talk, but you notice that the press hasn't inquired a lot. They've just done puff pieces.
There's a lot of other stuff going on, and people aren't paying attention.
Well, that's my point. They're not even paying attention that it's the girlfriend and the buddy that have rolled on him, and they're going to do minor time. And you know what they did, John? They kept their fucking mouth shut. They kept their mouth shut, period. And they limited everything to this moron. I mean, no offense, guys. This guy was never a genius. He was a lucky scapegoat coder retard.
He looks a little mentally challenged.
Do you really? I mean,
He looks a little slow. I don't think he was in charge of anything.
Not a goddamn thing. Like, guys, again, think about what John just said. It was a money laundering scam for political allies in the Democratic Party.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, and tons of backdoor deals, the whole thing, and they used this naive guy that basically they sold him on the idea that, listen, man, you ride the social justice train, you ride the identity politics train, you just kind of do what we say. Everything's going to be cool. You're going to be a crypto billionaire, and he was for a little while, and then they scammed so much money and laundered so much money that the largest crypto implosion in history happened, and it never had so many mainline investors. And everybody was like, whoops. And he still couldn't keep his mouth shut. Like, think about, again, everybody who's a little bit older like us, think about what they did to Bernie Madoff. What this guy allegedly did puts Bernie Madoff to shame, and people in the Madoff family hung themselves.
Yeah.
Like, folks.
Yeah, man, he's a scumbag. Like, all I saw was nuts because a lot of people got burned. A lot of people who got burned who put their money into crypto, and listen, guys, putting your money into crypto is disinvesting in the war machine. That's exactly what it is. The more money you have in cryptocurrency and gold and silver versus cash and bonds and stuff that the government can use. The more cash you have in the bank, that's more debt that the government can create. That's the war machine. That's where they get their money to blow up people and kill people. Like, if you're putting your money in the bank, you are literally killing people.
Well, I mean, let's talk.
I know. I'm going
No. Listen, man. You know what?
Think about it. If everybody today put majority, like, you can hold your money in crypto and cash it out as you need to spend it, or find a way to pay with crypto on things. If the majority of people started doing that, what are the banks going to do? Most of these banks are going to fail. Most banks don't have any money in them at all.
Well, bro, the reason that Bitcoin just surged up over is because they're about to deregulate it so that, guess what? BlackRock and Vanguard can start investing in it and have an ETF trade on it. In fact, they did it almost immediately, and then they got fined $2.5 million a week and a half ago. Talked about that with Mark Schaffline over on the other show, Making Sense of the Madness. By the way, guys, great interviews last week on Making Sense of the Madness. We spent an hour with JP Sears. Great comedian, great time. We spent an hour with Boone Cutler. We did Dinesh D'Souza a couple weeks ago. We did David Icke twice in the last couple months for an hour. If you're missing Making Sense of the Madness, what are you doing? All right, so hold on. I'm looking for this one article that I can't find that I went by because you're not going to believe it, John. First of all, this is great. I don't know that you've seen this yet, but this is real and not a meme. So, let's read it. Safe, secure, protected with minimal charges, just like Prince Andrew. And so everybody, like, when I saw this, I got this sent to me by my New York City buddy. He's actually out in Long Island. And that's right by the FDR. And I was like, wait, did you take the picture? He's like, that's been there for a while. I don't know how this isn't more popular. Fantastic stuff. It's hilarious. That should be viral. However, I'm so shadow banned that it's actually like my biggest tweet since September 11th. Doesn't matter. I have 37,000 followers. You have fucking over 500,000. You get like less traction than I do on Twitter. But don't worry, Musk saved us.
Well, I got 100 and whatever thousand. Like, bro, I got another whatever fact check thing on my Instagram. Go to John Fish Smash on Instagram, bro. I put up a quote, an alleged quote by Stolsky or whatever, the Russian writer. And it says something like, things are getting so ridiculous. Like, the intelligent people will be punished for thinking too smart and making dumb people feel bad, or something like that. It's just like a stupid joke meme. I got a fact check on it, and it's like you're supposed to make money off of Instagram when you get so many views and stuff on stories. They like reward you for reels. All that stuff is shut down on mine. I can't make any money on my Instagram.
Dude,
For a while, they finally took down the warnings. For a while, if you clicked on my Instagram to follow me, it'd be like, whoa, this account regularly posts false information. You sure you want to follow them?
dude, this is killing me because I feel like I totally retweeted this from Michael Tracy, and now it's not on my feed anywhere. And Tracy does tweet a ton, but
I haven't seen a Michael Tracy tweet on my timeline in I don't know how long.
well, then you probably don't know this. So not only are U.S. Special Forces now in Israel, guess what, John?
I saw that. I did see that they were headed over there.
Here it is right here. This is it. This is what's really important. And weird, my repost and my like must have went away. Weird. We're going to make sure we do that again. Read the bottom. Okay? Here's what really matters. Guess what? The U.S. was there with their special forces, okay, on October 7th, conducting previously scheduled training. Oh, so now this attack happened. Seems like a weird stand down. Nobody knew. The Five Eyes didn't know. Nobody knew. And now U.S. Special Forces
Millions and
units were
billions of
there.
dollars of tax money stolen from us to help prop up a a security mechanism that doesn't work.
And we're there on the ground at the time.
Awesome. Wow.
Oh, just so weird how that happened. I wonder what the training exercises were. Wouldn't it be weird? I'm just saying, wouldn't it be weird? If it was,
I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying the internal meltdown of the Democratic and left, the woke, because you've got half of them are craving war in the Middle East, and half of them are on the other side. Half of them are Israel, half are Palestine. So you have an internal battle between all those people. I think it's hilarious. And then you see a lot of the wolves in sheep's clothing on the right. People who were trying to denounce cancel culture are now you got to cancel this person because they supported this thing. Bunch of phonies, man. They're all grifters. They're all pieces of crap.
yes, they are, John, because let me show you something. You know what I mean? That's exactly right. They are grifters and they're pieces of crap. Let me show people this, okay? What you're looking at here is a Palestinian neighborhood. Now, if you believe that entire neighborhood right there, everyone that lives there is a terrorist, they're all terrorist sympathizers, they're all housing terrorists, and there aren't women, children, and babies there, right? What we're looking at. Let me show you what this is. This is what this is. That's what this is, everybody. Because we might have watched some rave kids get fucked up, and that's not cool. I don't like that. That's not a bunch of rave kids at a festival.
Anybody who is like, what do you need 30 rounds in your AR-15 for? Paragliders? How about that? How about that? You really want to disarm us after something like that happened? Why if those people were armed, would that have happened? If you had people who had concealed carry, you had people who had open carry with their ARs, would that have happened?
Nope.
You'd be shooting people as they tried to land.
I still don't understand how, again, something so close to the border wall, something so secure with the security state, even if they had no intelligence as they came down, someone from the Air Force, guess what, everybody? Israel has a top-notch Air Force over there, wasn't scrambled. Like, none of it makes sense. Boy, it would really suck if that training exercise the U.S. was doing had something to do with paragliding. Wow. That'd be weird. I'm not saying that's true. I have no idea, guys. I want anybody who knows about whatever training exercise they were doing, let's find out. But again,
I want to know about I want to know more about the main shooter.
Oh, geez, I don't know, man.
Didn't they find him with two shots to the dome, self-inflicted
in a storage container? Well, I don't know about the 2 shots, but he was in a storage container, wasn't he? Isn't
that was what I don't know if that's true. It could be fake news. I did see it somewhere that he had.
Let's
he had
look it
2
up.
shots in the dome, and it was a real suicide.
Let's find out. Let's see.
Who else? Who else was a famous guy? There was a famous person who's ran on the CIA or something like that, who was also found with 2 shots.
Oh, you're talking about
in the
Gary
dome.
Webb was found with 2 shots. Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Webb.
Yes.
And supposedly this is another one.
Okay, so we have a gun history emerging. Let's see what the mainstream media has to say here, everybody. We're doing it live. Okay, everybody who's here.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, man, found dead. Let's see. Well, let's go to that one. Random CNN. Here's what you need to know. Okay. Let's go with found dead tonight. Yeah, well, that's great. He found his body at 7:45 near the river in Lisbon Falls, 10 miles from Lewistown. Okay. I guess I'm going to type in storage unit, see if we can find it, because you know how this goes. Storage. Yeah, he was dead in a cargo trailer. Motive still a mystery. That's Reuters, so that might actually have the bullets. Let's go with shot. Let's see. So let's see. It just says a self-inflicted gunshot wound. If you find the dual ones, we'll cover it then. We don't want any fake news. We don't want
any fake news. We don't want fake news.
No fake news. No fake news. Again, there is clear evidence that the guy said he was hearing voices prior, that he was visited by law enforcement.
Again, we had this little talk before the show about mental health, right?
Bro.
And how people keep trying to say, oh, we need to have a serious conversation about mental health. And we need more awareness. We need more awareness because there's such a negative stigma about it. And I'm like, bro, I've heard nothing but mental health alert, whatever stuff, awareness for 35 years. It's been shoved down my throat and up my ass nonstop. We need to have a serious conversation. Whatever the hell they're doing with mental health isn't working. Psychiatry has failed miserably. Pumping drugs into people has failed miserably. Whatever they're doing for mental health today is not working. It's not working at all. We need a full stop. Whatever they're doing in the mental health industry, full stop. You're failing. You're failing bad. Everyone is suffering and doing worse. All right? You can't blame it on, social media, well, this or that, blah, 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 blah. No, you suck. Whatever you're doing and trying to fix.
How about accountability?
You're wrong.
How about self-responsibility? How about the stop of like handing everybody out and telling them they're a fucking victim on everything? Like, see, every group's a victim.
Everybody's a victim. Oh, let's keep reliving your trauma nonstop forever, and then we'll give you pills. I'm sorry, but talking about your trauma every day for the rest of your life is not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not at all.
We're not telling you got to suppress
talk
everything.
More about what hurts you. Let's focus just on that. Let's focus on the pain nonstop, and then we'll give you pills after you feel bad about it.
And one of the other things we were talking about before we went live is that obviously there's a huge push for people to go online and talk to a therapist online with telehealth now. So they want that expansion. Well, number one, folks,
all your darkest, dirtiest secrets and fears to AI.
They want you spilling your guts out first to a person, but it doesn't matter because, again, with voice recognition software, they don't have to actually be recording your voice to have everything you said building a bigger profile on you. Your innermost thoughts that maybe you never even say out loud, you're going to be encouraged to, but just like John said, now the AI will already work on what you tell a person. But eventually, in the next 5 to 10 years, that person will become AI, and you're going to spill your guts out to AI. And look, I'm not going to hold water for the Muskernuts. I watched like the 2+ hour Rogan podcast with him. Most of it's fluff. I'll say that. But at one point,
the dude runs Skynet. He is literally putting Skynet into the sky. You guys understand that? He is the guy who's like, You know in the Terminator movie, the black guy, the black scientist,
yes,
who was working on this stuff.
Yes,
that's him. That's him. He's the guy working on that stuff.
He's actually the front man for the guy. That guy would work for him in the Black Ops department and probably actually create it. But I'm just saying this: they actually do at one point First of all, kudos to Musk because he actually, for this one, he actually says that the Earth's capacity could be 10 times what it is now. So 80 billion people. He's clear about that. Yeah. And he says
there's not too many people on planet Earth. There's not too many people at all. There's so much space. There's so much room. The problem is we waste. The amount of waste we create. That's a major problem. And the amount of food that we waste, the amount of resources that we waste. Like everything is easily replaceable. You just throw things out. Oh, I got a little hole in my shirt. Throw it out, buy a new one for a few dollars instead of sewing it. Like you create so much pollution, so much garbage.
First of all, it's manufactured scarcity coupled with planned obsolescence to keep you a constant consumer. And
every time a new iPhone comes out, my iPhone gets a little worse. I can time it. I'll start getting emails from Verizon like, "Hey, you can come in and get a brand new phone," and then all of a sudden, now my phone is glitchy. Yep. Now my apps closed down for no reason. Now it takes longer for things to play.
Well, they lost the lawsuit, John. You saw that, right? They recently lost the lawsuit, saying they were actually slowing down people's devices with updates. In fact, we'll do it live. We'll do it now. Apple loses lawsuit with updates that slow phones. Boom. And here it is. They had to pay $500 million in a settlement. $500 million recently. It's right here.
Why did some of that?
Yeah, you probably can actually. So that was in August it happened. So, we're trucking through, but that was a few months ago. So they lost that lawsuit. What you're saying is, and they're like, $500 million. We made $25 million. They don't care.
We use slave labor. What's it matter?
They don't care. I'm not an iPhone guy, and that's one of the reasons. Like with for instance, this phone right here. It's in the pawn shop, and I saw an iPhone 14, perfect condition for $399. Now it didn't say what carrier it was locked to, but it's locked to a carrier, right? Well, they don't even have the SIM cards on.
I'm supposed to doing a flip phone.
Bro, don't do a flip phone. Yeah, well, I'm not encouraging you not to, but like with something like this, okay? Everybody, I'm gonna give everybody a lesson on how I do things. First of all, I don't use that much data, so I have I run 2 lines with actual physical SIM cards I can always take in and out and put in other devices. I want to make that clear, okay? Now, one has 15 gigabytes of data for the month, and another has 3. One runs on the AT&T virtual network, not through AT&T. The other T-Mobile. I do that because I travel, and sometimes you hit a dead spot, but usually never with both. Usually you can connect to something. How much do I pay a year for that plan, which is unlimited talk and text? I'm talking both things. 18 gigabytes between the two. What am I paying? Take the guess.
No clue.
I pay, with tax, everybody, $480 for the year. And I run 2 separate phone numbers on it. I can take it out. I can put it into 2 different phones. And I think brand new, I did actually spend almost $400 on this phone because I knew that it would, basically when you do dual SIMs, you don't always get all the bands. Samsung device, I knew I'd get all the bands, which I do. I could probably have spent half that if I wanted to. Think about that, guys. They want $2,000 for an iPhone device for the top tier, $2,000. That's literally, so everybody understands. I'm not even exaggerating. That's 5 years of what I pay for my service. We didn't even get to the fact that they bang you out for over $100 a month and you pay $1,200 a year on top of it.
Yep.
Okay. 5 years of service, 2 phone lines, and you can use that kind of phone. For what? This thing shoots in 4K, has amazing cameras and software. What? Ooh, because I have a special kind of emoji and I can FaceTime someone? Hey, Apple, fuck you and slowing down. You got caught. You got fucking caught. And everybody's just like, whatever. My nieces want new iPhones, dude. And now you can, the thing that started that is you can't even use the SIM card on the new ones. They all have to be eSIMs. So you can't take your thing out of the device if it breaks. You now got to go to the shop and be like, well, I can't use my phone. Oh. Speaking of which, I have to go buy my niece's tickets to the football game online tomorrow. Fitch, what would you like to wrap up with? I know that you have this wonderful website called johnfitch.net where
Yeah,
people can sign up.
I'm doing so I have my Fitch Smash program, right? I have my own fight system, and I'm teaching online. I've got my first student, kind of in the beta stages of it. I'm only charging $50 a month, keeping it cheap, because I'm building, and hopefully we'll grow it into something much bigger in the next year or so, 2 years maybe, and it might take a little bit to go. But I'm doing, I'm sending the lessons through email. We have a private Telegram chat we can communicate with whenever we need to. So I'm teaching my system, but also, I got this amateur fighter, and he's, he sent me his workout tapes. He sends me his fight tape. I break it down. I say what he did wrong, what he needs to work on. I can give him techniques to help him with his fighting, and give him drills to do. So he's been working on that stuff. And yeah, so I'm growing that. I'm doing that, and reach out, email, DMs if you're interested in any way. My system, fighting's fighting, whether you're doing MMA, self-defense, police, whatever, police, military stuff. Fighting's fighting. The objectives change, but the baseline of the fight is the same. So you can reach out and get a hold of me, and we can do some online instruction for you. You can also go to johnfish.net, sign up for the newsletter. I always have specials and deals and stuff that come out through there with my other programs on Gumroad. And then we need to talk more explicitly about the class action lawsuit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right? Yeah. We got class certification a little bit ago, a couple months ago, and from there, the UFC had a short period of time to appeal that process. The judge said no, not the judge, but they went to Ninth Circuit Court. Ninth Circuit Court denied their appeal, so that appeal would have taken 2 to 3 years to get through, but it's thrown out, so they don't even get their appeal heard. The judge fast-tracked the trial to April next year. So we have less than 6 months if UFC tries to settle. I don't think they will, honestly, though, because the things that we want, the structural changes to the fight game, I don't think they're so far up their own butt and think they're so untouchable. I don't think they are going to want to do what we want. Tough, but things are going to change soon.
I'm rooting for you guys, man, obviously, because Ari Emanuel needs to, WME Entertainment, Disney. I mean, Disney just bought up the last remaining stake in Hulu from Comcast. They're a Leviathan, man. Period. Yeah.
Monopoly buying a monopoly. Crazy. But yeah, so, and then, we know they were trying to stall us. So we split the trials. We split the trials. So there is, what do you call it? I lost the word, but the judge changing the structure of the thing. If the judge has to weigh in and change the business model, right? That's going to be a separate trial because they're trying to push that and stall. Their only tactic right now is to stall, make as much money as they can until that day they have to pay out, basically. So we're splitting it, and the damages trial is going to start in April. The other trial, they tried to open up, or they're opening up more discovery for that because they want to try to stop the structural changes to the sport.
I'm pumped, man. I think that it's going in the right direction finally. It could still take years.
Look at how well Francis Ngannou did in that fight. He's the best heavyweight in MMA, hands down. He is one of the top 5-6 heavyweights in boxing right now. And the UFC's monopoly, if he was still trapped under them, the only reason he got free, the only reason he got out of that contract is because they put in a sunset clause. After we filed our initial lawsuit, they changed the contracts to put in a sunset clause in order to prevent another lawsuit, because we filed there's a second lawsuit filed in 2017 with CB Dalloway and Kajan Johnson. Now that Francis exercised his sunset clause, they never thought anybody would actually walk away. They're so full of themselves that they went back and changed the contracts. So now they have erased that sunset clause. They have put a stop, right? Just like with your injuries. If you get injured, you can't fight, and you are injured, they will stop your contract. They will halt it until you fight again. So they add more time on in order to lock you down and keep you with them. So now they've changed it to like if you turn down a fight or you choose to sit out, like Francis did. He sat out a year to let his contract expire. Well, now if you sit out, they also get to pause your contract. So if Francis would have done it under that system, he never would have gotten out. He wouldn't have gotten out. They would have had him and he would have been forced to fight. Well, and you can see what's possible, what great fights are possible, and what other promoters can do, and what other promoters are willing to pay to get these top athletes to put on shows. So like one of the biggest things we would love to see happen in the sport is 1 year limits on contracts. You're only allowed to promote that guy for a year. If you don't do a good job of promoting him, he's going to leave. He's going to be a free agent, and he's going to be able to go to the highest bidder. That's going to make monstrous changes to the sport, give a lot more leverage to the sport. New promoters, new money will be able to come in and get involved in the sport. They'll be able to bid on the top fighters, and the promoters will actually have to do a good job and treat their fighters well to keep them.
We'll see. I mean, I think we're all in the right direction. Like I said, I'm eager to see what happens with PFL and Bellator. I think that's a big thing. I mean, PFL, some kind of contract with ESPN. Obviously, you have Fubo as a player for streaming. You're seeing BKFC pick up fighters and do exciting fights. Again, we talked about Todd Duffy and Rothwell coming up. So, I'm pumped for all that. By the way, John, lest we not give you credit. So here is where what you said about the main shooter comes from. We got a great audience out there. Mr. Telford, aka Tyler Durden, is a stupid name.
Oh, stupid name. Yeah, one of my guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's been around with me for years. Androscoggin Sheriff's Department posted the double tap to Robert Card's head on the department's Facebook page. It was changed 2 hours later, but a couple of UK papers reported on it. So you're not incorrect. It was reported on. It apparently came from the original source on the Facebook page, which would be odd. Just like it's odd the special forces are in Israel on the day of the big attack.
Or what's his name? Bernie. Was it Bernie? What's his name?
What? Madoff?
The CIA guy. They got double tapped.
Oh, you're talking about Gary Webb.
Gary Webb.
Yeah, Gary Webb.
Yeah.
Every time you say
like
Bernie, I'm thinking Bernie Sanders or Bernie Williams, bro.
Yeah. Gary Webb. Yeah, Gary Webb got tapped too.
Well, Fitch, next time we do this, I'll be in the new studio. It should be fun. We got to talk about the Miletich fight eventually. Also, I mean, I haven't talked to Pat other than in person after the fact. But he's in town. I think I'm going to spend some time with him this weekend. Adventures with BJ Penn and more. We'll talk about it maybe on the next Mixed Martial Mindset, everybody. You know the deal. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. We're already shadow banned everywhere. I got 2 shows, RVM, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Making Sense of the Madness. Check them both out. Fitch, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I've been doing live streams, right? I got my Learn to Fight videos and my Fitch Pilled videos. I started doing them as live stream. So on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm doing a stream at 1:30 p.m. on the left coast. Check it out.
Excellent. I have seen you've been doing the fight videos, which I really do love. From somebody that actually can fight and can give you actual good advice. Everybody, and you know what?
A lot of it is avoidance because every street fight is stupid. Every street fight is stupid. If it's an actual self-defense situation, you need to know how to deal with it. So I'm trying to give people perspective on how to avoid and not get into stupid trouble. And because we live in a world that's crazy today. So you have 2 fights you have to worry about. You have to worry about the fight in front of you, and you have to worry about the fight after the fact. So you got to be careful with your actions, because if somebody gets in your face and you hit them and knock them out and they fall and hit their head and they're seriously injured or killed, you're screwed. You're screwed. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, I was threatened. Sorry. Like you gotta use justifiable use of force at all times.
And not only that, that's a sliding scale, and you never know what judge you're going to get.
You
what
never know what
precinct.
judge, what jury, what township, wherever you're in. You know, you're in Texas, somebody walks in your front lawn, you can shoot them. You're in San Jose, and a homeless guy comes at you with a knife. Like there was two kids, two teens, tried to rob an Asian kid up here in like San Francisco, and the guy had a knife. He defended himself and stabbed them. One of them got in critical condition. One of them died. The news reported it as 2 victims were stabbed by an Asian man. It wasn't he was assaulted and they tried to rob him and he fought back, right? They painted him as a villain right away.
Which we're seeing.
So that
more
guy
and more.
is going to face some serious legal trouble.
It's a crazy world out there.
It's ugly.
Yes. More peace, more love, more harmony, less war, less stabby stab and punchy punch, except for in the cagey cage. Guys, I love you. Not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. We'll see you on the flip side. Later, Fitch.
Check you later.